Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Ubisoft is at its end. And this is something that we've said was going to happen relatively soon for a while now, because all signs are pointing to Ubisoft potentially being bought out, most likely by Tencent. But we have an article here from That Park Place with some information regarding the Guillemot family, which says that Ubisoft buyout is stalling as the Guillemot family fights to maintain control over the company.
French video game maker Ubisoft is lagging behind its rivals, and Reuters can reveal an investor pushing for its sale has gathered support from 10% of its shareholders. AJ Investments, which has a 1% stake in Ubisoft, also called for a CEO change some weeks ago. This move, exclusively seen in a letter by Reuters, comes a day after Ubisoft postponed the release of the game Assassin's Creed Shadows to February 2025.
Now, it makes you wonder, guys, what was the reason why? What was the true reason why they delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because I really don't believe their story of, oh, we want to make sure it's the best game possible. We want to make sure it's polished to the moon. We want to make sure all these things. I really don't believe that at all, considering that Ubisoft is not exactly a company known for like any of those things. It's not a company known for polish. It's not anymore anyway. It's not a company known for making top tier games at release and definitely not fixing them months over release. No, definitely not. It's a company that 100% doesn't care about delivering a top tier product at the beginning when the game actually releases. They are a release it now, fix it later kind of company. So I'm starting to wonder what was the true reason for Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed the way that it was. And now that we're talking about this, I wonder why. A potential buyout of French company developer Ubisoft, the studio behind Assassin's Creed, has stalled as the Guillemot family fights to maintain control over the company. Ubisoft has been in a bad way of late, with financial woes and a series of failed games dogging the once powerful studio. Yeah, failed games like Skull and Bones, which lost the most money out of any AAA game ever, it seems like. You also got, obviously, Star Wars Outlaws being a massive failure, even though all the Star Wars shows are like, it's totally doing okay. We promise. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's clearly not. There is a lot of games that are failing miserably for this company. You got Prince of Persia failing miserably as well, unfortunately. Even though people say that was a good game, it just didn't seem to find an audience, and that's Ubisoft's fault. The Guillemot family, who started Ubisoft in 1986, have led their company down the path of ruin. Now they face an inevitable situation. The company needs to buy up stock and privatize if it has any hope of staving off a hostile takeover. That's why it's seeking partners like Chinese company Tencent, which already owns 10% of Ubisoft. However, negotiations have reportedly hit a snag, with the Guillemot family fighting to maintain control of their studio following the buyout. One could instantly see the problem with such a move, as the Guillemots were the one who led the company into the dire straits it finds itself in now. According to Reuters, Tencent wants more of a say in boardroom decisions within Ubisoft, including cash flow distribution. The Guillemots have reportedly not accepted these terms, and the deal is in danger of falling through. Tencent is apparently happy with its 10% stake in the company, believing it to be acceptable for gaming business operation. However, if Tencent walks away, Ubisoft will be vulnerable to minority investors banding together to wrestle control of the company away from the Guillemots. Bro, they are cooked. They are cooked, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. Ubisoft has been insulting gamers for way too long. Between extremely predatory monetization practices and on top of that, releasing games that are utterly broken at release only to fix them months later and say they're sorry. Like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm happy that Ubisoft is in the struggle that it's in right now, and the Guillemots are going to be most likely losing control over the company. I don't know if this is going to save the company necessarily, because just because other people wrestle control over the company doesn't mean that the company's magically saved, right? But if anything takes it away from the Guillemots at this point, I think it's okay. Tencent is also known for its predatory monetization practices, right? Tencent is not some angel that's going to sweep in and save the day, right? But at the end of the day, man, Tencent seems to be happy with their 10%, no pun intended, and probably because it makes them enough money to warrant the risk involved. Industry expert and SuperData founded Juice Van Drunen, however, believes Ubisoft will go private and start selling itself off piece by piece. Most likely, they'll probably sell off some IPs or something to make money. Ubisoft is headed for privatization and dismantling in 2025, he said. With its share price plummeting from $28 to $12 year over year, the company has become an attractive takeover target. Its valuable assets, particularly Rainbow Six Siege and the Assassin's Creed franchise, could be worth more separately than together. The upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows faces stiff competition from PlayStation's Ghosts of Yotei, and recent failures suggest deeper organizational issues beyond individual game performance. I gotta tell you, Ghosts of Yotei probably, I really should say Ghosts of Yotei should have been more than what it is right now. Unfortunately, a lot of people are having issues accepting Ghosts of Yotei for a multitude of different reasons, with the number one reason being that they wanted a continuation of Jin Sakai's story, but unfortunately they're not getting that. They're getting a brand new character in a brand new setting 300 years in the future who does unfortunately happen to be a woman, right? So due to modern day politics that we know exists in the gaming industry, we just have to sadly look at a female protagonist with a raised eyebrow and wonder if they're there to actually be a good character or if they're there to be a DEI placement. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And we don't have anybody to blame other than the companies that have told us that they are purposely doing these things. You know, it's not like they're hiding it. They've told us that. The one thing that they're transparent about is their DEI stuff, which is hilarious because they're transparent about nothing else, right? They're not transparent about sales. They're not transparent about the performance of the game. They're not transparent about the development of the game. They only are transparent about, hey, we're hiring XYZ amount of dark-skinned people and XYZ amount of women because we have to. That's the only thing that they're transparent about anything in the gaming industry. So it's quite unfortunate because Ghosts of Yotei, in all theory, should have destroyed Assassin's Creed Shadows with ease, considering how amazing Ghost of Tsushima was and how much everybody loved that game. But right now, a lot of people are cautiously optimistic when it comes to Yotei, and rightfully so, in my opinion. He goes on to note that the Guillemots have stubbornly stuck to failing business models. Ubisoft development approach remains stubbornly outdated in an era demanding player engagement and community building. Facts? That's 100% facts. And they're not doing any of that. They're especially not doing community building because they were too busy attacking gamers and telling them that they're bigots. Van Druden said, without a fundamental shift in how they develop and maintain games, they risk further alienating both investors and players. The X-Defiant shutdown isn't just another failed launch, it's a symptom of a company that insists on catering to a passive audience while failing to recognize the urgency to rethink distribution. And I agree, X-Defiant didn't have to be a failure. I've said this so many times, man. Ubisoft had the bag, right? Ubisoft had the bag. They had 20 million players playing X-Defiant at its launch, guys. 20 million players. How the hell do you go from 20 million players to 20,000 across all platforms in just a few months? You only do that if you fumble the bag. You only do that if you don't give gamers what they want to keep them around. You only do that if you are a failure of a company. And that's exactly what Ubisoft is. It's unfortunate what happened to X-Defiant because it seems like X-Defiant could have been a game that could stick around for years on end, just like Call of Duty. But unfortunately, it was ran by a company that really just didn't give a fuck. They thought they could release a game and just get passive income with no fucking work whatsoever and maybe release some stupid skin every now and then. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So Ubisoft has to learn eventually at some point, and now, now we're here. The Grim Reaper's here. The Grim Reaper's here to collect, and now you got to answer. Are you going to give him what he wants, or are you going to go down fighting? I guess we're going to find out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.